Okay, so we're looking at the time value of money topic. Okay, basically, the concept here is that the value of money changes over time. All right, what you can buy with 100 kwacha today, maybe 10 years from now, you won't be able to buy the same amount of goods with that same 100 kwacha. Okay, so the value of money changes as time goes. The main reasons why the value of money changes as time goes, the first one is inflation. Okay, we have inflation. Remember, inflation erodes the purchasing power of money. Okay, it erodes the purchasing power of money. So, as inflation increases, okay, even what you can buy with your money reduces. Okay, let me just put this like this here. Okay, yes. So, as I said, time value of money, the value of money changes over time. And another important thing you need to remember is it's better to receive money today than on a later date. Okay, this here. It's better to receive money now than on a later date. Yes. So the reasons why it's better to receive money now than on a later date is number one, that money you could have used it to invest it today. Okay. Now, for example, let's say you have a 10,000 kwacha and someone comes to ask you, can I borrow your 10,000 kwacha? I'll pay you back after 3 years. Okay. So it's better to keep your money than borrow that person the same 10,000 kwacha. Why? Because you have got the opportunity cost of losing the interest you can earn. Okay. That 10,000, you could have invested it. Okay. And earned some interest. Okay. Or you would have bought an asset which would have earned you some money that would have even generated you more money. So opportunity costs, e.g., interest lost. Yes. Number two, as I explained earlier, why the value of money changes over time, and also it's also going to be another reason why you need to receive money now than on a later date is inflation again. Okay, because if you give the person the 10,000 kwacha and they pay after 3 years, the inflation rate increases. It means when you're getting that 10,000 back from the person, you can buy less goods. Okay. Yes. These are the two main reasons. Another reason is probably if you give a person money, they might not pay you back. So there's the risk that you might lose your money. If you say, I'll get my money on a later date, there is a risk that you might not even get that money. Okay. Yes, so those are the main reasons why it's better to receive money now than on a later date. Yes. So, in this topic of time value of money, we're going to be talking about future values and present values. A future value is the value of money in the future. The present value is the value of money today. Okay, so this is the first formula you need to remember. Future value equals present value 1 plus R to the power n. Okay, as you can see, FV, future value after the periods. PV is the initial principal or present value when the time is 0. R is the interest rate. N is the number of periods. Okay. So this topic, colleagues, is very practical, even in our daily lives. Let me show you how you can use this formula here. Let's say, for example, you have a 10,000. This is your present value. This is how much you have 10,000. Your bank, let's say, is giving you in your savings account, the interest rate R is 10%. And you want to know how much money will I have after, let's say, 3 years. How much will this 10,000 grow by after 3 years? So you just come to this formula here. Future value equals the present value, which is our 10,000, 1 plus our interest rate. Our interest rate is 10%, so we convert it to a decimal, 0.1 to the power 3, 3 years here. All right. So we're multiplying 10,000 by 1.1 to the power 3. So we can get our calculators. 10,000 multiplied by 1.1 to the power 3. We get 13,310. This is how much you have after 3 years. Okay. 13,310. Okay. And if you had to know how much interest you would have made, you just subtract 13,310 minus 10,000, since you want to know how much interest would I have made. 3,310. Watch as interest. Okay. This is the formula we use to get the future values. Then if you want to get the present value, let's see if in these notes the formula there. Okay, if you want to get the present value, it's the present value equals future value multiplied by 1 plus r to the power n here. Okay, or negative n, sorry, the power negative n. Other books, you're going to see it as future value over future value over, why isn't it drawing? It's future value over 1 plus r to the power n. Okay. Either way, you'll get similar values, okay? Yes. This formula, if you want to find out the value, for example, let's say you'll be receiving a 10,000 kwacha in 3 years' time. Okay. And let's say the interest rate is still 10%, R equals 10%. So you want to find out how much should you invest now to receive this 10,000 kwacha in 3 years' time when the interest rate is 10%. Okay, so present value, it's used for questions like how much you need to invest today to get a certain amount of money. Okay. Or it's also used to find out if you've got like two payment plans, and then you want to find out, okay, which payment plan is cheaper. Okay. And you're going to also see in capital budgeting, where businesses evaluate projects, there's the net present value technique. That technique also uses this formula here. It converts money that the business forecasts that will make in the future, and it converts it into today's value. Okay. So if you ask yourself the question, I want to have a 10,000 kwacha in 3 years' time. The interest rate is 10%. How much do I need to invest now? So future value 10,000. Our rate is 10%, so that is zero point 0.1 here to the power negative 3. Okay. So you're going to get 10,000 divided by 1.1. Yes, is that a question? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, actually, I usually like using T. Okay, I usually N. Let me use N so I don't confuse anyone. Thanks for spotting that out, madam. Let's keep things consistent. We'll keep it consistent. Thank you, madam, for that. Yes. So N, yes, 3 years. N just number of periods. So on your calculators, okay, or if you want, you can put 10,000 over 1.1 to the power 3. So we can find out how much we need to invest today to get that 10,000. Okay, so 10,000 multiplied by 1.1 to the power negative 3. 7,513 kwacha. 7,513 kwacha. There's some decimal points, but I'll just round it off to a whole fig. Okay. Yes. So if you invest this 7,510 kwacha, where you're earning interest of 10% per year, you're going to have a 10,000 after 3 years. Any questions? Okay. Yes. Listen, if Fred Moreno places $100 in an account paying 8% interest compounded annually, after 1 year he will have $180 in the account. That's just the initial principal of $100 plus the 8% interest. The future value at the end of the year is, so basically here they're just showing this same formula. Future value equals present value 1 plus R to the power n. Okay. So you can know how much you have at the end of 1 year. You can know after how much you have at the end of 2 years. Okay. If you want to find out how much you have after 2 years, you just say $100, okay, multiplied by 1.08 to the power 2. Okay. To the power 2. Then you'll be able to find out how much you have after 2 years. If you want to know how much you have after 3 years, you just put this 1.08 to the power 3. Okay. Yes. Okay, yeah, here's the formula for present value. Okay. Pam Valente has been offered an investment opportunity that will pay her $1,700 8 years from now. Pam has other investment opportunities available to her that pay 4%. So she will require a 4% return on this opportunity. How much should Pam pay for this opportunity? In other words, what is the present value of 1,800 that comes in 8 years? So basically, colleagues, how much should she put in today so that after 8 years she gets 1,700? The interest rate is 4%. So have you seen here? Present value, this is the future value here. Here it's 1 plus r to the power t, n. Listen, as you can see, it's 8 years there. Okay. And when you do your tabulations, it's this $1,000, 242.17. So basically, this is how much Palm has to invest today. So that after 8 years, she will have 1,700. Any questions? Okay. Do this first.